Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Hey, don't stop thinking.
And, I love Michael Jackson because, again, I'm a background person. Like, I love Prince, but there's just something about if you listen to the background vocals of Michael Jackson.
Yes.
They are the most perfect, pristine, perfect pitch harmony notes you'll ever find in an artist.
And they all in the right little places, and they just fit like a puzzle all over throughout the song. I'm sorry, I love Michael too.
It's like a musical orgasm, man.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, welcome to KROSS BARZ, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspectives. I'm your co-host, Big O, and I have with me...
Hey, Tanae is back in the building one more time with our special guest, Mr. Derrick Givens of the Givens family. Give it up for the smooth soloist. Give it up for me, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Absolutely, absolutely.
You see my folks in the back.
That's right.
Back there.
We see him.
Yeah, y'all see him, right.
Absolutely. So now, brother Givens, now tell us, where do you reside?
Okay. I currently reside in East Orange, New Jersey, actually.
Okay.
I grew up in Newark and East Orange. And, fast forward, got married, had kids, lived in West Orange for 20 years.
Oh, yeah, school system, got you.
Yeah, raised kids and then, got them out and sold a couple of houses and moved back to the town where I grew up in. So, yes, sir.
All right, wait. How many kids you got?
He had to count. He had to count.
Wait, hold your hand up, Big O. I need to know. I have 4 kids. Okay, 4 kids.
You said,
good deal.
Four.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, around.
It's four.
Okay, is the 4 impossible? Because you was so
he had like it's a spades game.
I did try. It's 4. Let's go with 4. We're gonna go with 4.
All right, that'll work. That's like it's a spades game.
He got 4 impossible. Okay, you gonna at least make more.
I've had 4 children, 4 wonderful kids. That I've had the pleasure of being their father, and it's all good, man. They're great kids. They're great grown-ups, and they're out of the house doing their own thing. So it's all good.
Okay.
Get them out.
Are you married?
I am married. Been married for 27 years to my wife, Kimberly. Kimberly Givens. Funny story I got to tell you about my wife. I met my wife when I was in camp. So I was 11 years old in camp.
Oh, camp. Real camp.
I was 11 years old.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I was a kid in camp. That's when I met my wife. She was 9 at the time, and I was 11. Okay.
Wow.
I met my wife, and I remember she told me she was going to marry me one day. Now, I kid you not. We 11, 12 years old having this conversation. I'm like, this girl is crazy. Fast forward, we grow up, she go her way, I go away, I go to school, she goes to school, and we come back, and somehow 1994, we caught up again and got married in 1996. And she said, I told you I was going to marry you.
Wait,
meant to be. Hey, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
True story, man.
Hold up. She told you at 9.
She told me at 9 years old that I was going to be her husband. Yes, sir.
That lady know what she wants.
Okay.
That's what she always say. I knew what I want. I go
there you go. And 25 years, congratulations.
Yes.
So tell me how she said it. Did she say like you want to be on TV?
Well, actually,
you can make this easy. Or
this was, I think, was this before? It might have been right around the time because I was 11 years old when we did that show. So it was like around that summer. Before the show.
She saw you on TV and then she saw me on TV. So but she had already stated her claim a long time ago. So somehow the universe brought us back together. I thought I was going to be out in LA with Janet Jackson or
Beyonce, but you know,
Beyonce wasn't around. But Janet,
Beyonce wasn't around.
Got you. Yeah.
You know, I thought it was going, be, some other, one of the Atlantic Star or one of the girls. Stephanie Mills, somebody, but just one of
the little bite size. Absolutely.
He said bite size.
Stephanie Mills.
Something's wrong with that guy.
Is that what he said? Bite size?
Absolutely. So now your wife done told you after seeing you, so she let you know you have boo potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You was a boo candidate.
Right.
Okay.
And we went to high school. She was. It's funny. This is another funny story. We went to high school. We went to the same high school, but she was a couple years younger than me, of course. And my wife used to hang out with my sister, my younger sister Audrey, who was in the show with me. Audrey was in the show. So they were really cool. They used to call each other cousins. So they hung out all the time. So when Kim and I started dating, Kim's friends like, I thought Derrick was your cousin.
It was cousin.
Yeah. That ain't from West Virginia. That ain't New Jersey though.
Right. And her response was, no, his sister is my cousin, not
him.
Yeah. They put all your family business out there, like his daddy and
right. No, she's my cousin, but not her brother. So I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
anyway.
Yeah. So hold on. You just said the show. I don't know. We gotta bring everybody up to speed.
Okay.
So so the show.
What's happening?
What's happening? So you were on What's Happening. You were singing. It was a what is that called? A quartet, because it was four of you.
It was four of us.
Your sister and your twin brothers.
So let me start back from the beginning, right? So I grew up in Newark in East Stars, right?
Right.
So I went to Harry Tubman School on South 10th Street in Newark, New Jersey.
Gracious. Okay.
Harry Tubman School. From there, the music teacher. Funny story. Music teacher, same last name as Givens. We had the same last name, but no relation.
No relation.
Same last name. Music teacher Mildred Givens was her name. First, my sister was in the Glee Club, and then she found out that hey, she has brothers that sing also. So we were in the Glee Club at Harry Tubman School, South 10th Street.
Okay.
From that Glee Club, she put us in acting school. She put us in acting school in New York City. Now we were kids, I was in the 4th grade. Yeah. She put us in acting school. It was called the Fann Theatrical Ensemble, right over on 133rd in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went to acting school, right?
Yes.
And part of this acting school, there were Gary Coleman was in this acting school. Chip Fields.
Yeah.
Chip Fields.
Chip Fields' mother.
Chip Fields is Kim Fields' mother. Kim Fields was also in the acting school. Danielle Spencer, who played Dee Dee on the show, was also in this acting school. So we were in this acting school. Now, Chip would fly out to California because Chip did a couple of excerpts on the show. Yeah, she played Rerun's sister. She did a couple of shows. She played Rerun's sister. So one day, Chip, talked to the producer, say, hey, I know these kids. They're in my acting school. They're from New Jersey. They can sing. I think they'd be great to come on the show.
Okay.
So Chip comes back to New Jersey. She flies from California back to New Jersey. She records us singing on a VHS tape back then. And she goes back. She sends it to the producers on the What's Happening show. The next week, after they saw that tape, they flew us out the next week.
Great. They're like your demo. That's great.
They flew us out the next week. So that's how.
Your parents were okay with?
We grew up in a single family home. My mother, Maddie Givens, she raised, 7 kids. It's 7 of us, but it's only 4 of us that sing. Okay. So there were 7.
Are you the youngest?
Audrey and I are the youngest boy and the youngest girl. There's an older sister, and then there's 3 other brothers.
Okay.
So we flew out to the show, and we got on that show as a result because of Chip Fields. So we did an episode of the show. They did it on they tried to emulate the Gong Show. It was like the Gong Show. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
You saw the show. The Gong Show with Rerun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a great experience, man. You know, we went out there for 1 week and did that show. We were in talks to kind of do other, you know, become regulars on the show. It didn't pan out, of course. We had a Jewish agent, but we'll talk about that some other time. She, you know, she kind of overbid it. They said, send them kids back to Newark. But anyway, so we came back to Newark, but after that show, we went back out to California. We did an off-Broadway show with Janet Jackson because, remind you, Chip Fields was also on Good Times, if you remember. She played Janet Jackson's mom.
Yeah, she was abusing her.
Yes, she was.
I ain't like her for years.
Right. You remember that? Right. She was. Right. Oh my God, you remember that?
Yes.
Big O, you remember that episode?
Yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah, I never looked at Ireland the same. Like,
yeah. So,
like, yeah.
So I have a question though. So in all of that, like you're saying it like no nonchalant, but you guys were not, because I'm sure you had seen these people on TV. Were you guys excited? Like how were, you know, all of you together as siblings? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Like what were you feeling?
I mean, you're 11 years old, so you really don't, I didn't know what like being afraid or, you know, it was just, we were just in the moment, you know, as you get older, you might have stage fright. Because we performed so much when we were younger, we were singing like almost every week we were performing somewhere, even before that show. We were always doing gospel, shows locally. I'm sorry?
Was that the gospel music you guys were singing from the beginning?
We just sang, we sang everywhere. I mean, we did, you know, clubs. I mean, we sang at Symphony Hall. We did performances at Symphony Hall when we were younger. We did, I remember doing the bicentennial when I guess the country was 200 years old. One of those, we did the bicentennial show. We traveled like all over the country. We did concerts in Bermuda. We were showcased in Bermuda by this organization. So we were always, although we were young, like 9, 10, and 11, we were always traveling. We were always singing at other schools as well. So when we got on the show, we were kind of used to being on stage. Although, I mean, it was exciting, you got the cameras and you have, it's a different forum, we were still sort of felt that we were in our element because, we were just singing and performing. So we were really excited, we were really excited to do it. So, but after the What's Happening show, we also did an off-Broadway play in California. It's called God Bless the Child, which was written. I remember that. Yeah, it was written by Chip Fields as well. Chip wrote that. Oh. Chip wrote God Bless the Child. Now I'm going back to 1979.
Yeah.
So we did God Bless the Child with Chip Fields, and Janet Jackson was also in the show as well.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna have to stop you for a second. Okay. Right now, we're gonna get to that,
Okay.
A couple of things. All right. You said you was from Newark and East Orange, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you saw Janet Jackson and you said you wasn't starstruck? Yeah, thank you. Let's take that.
You know what? Here's when I was really excited. I was excited to see her brother, Michael Jackson.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, of course.
I know how old you was, because you told me you was 11, and then you said, so you was in prime hormone age.
When I was out
on different shows, and everybody loves Charlene.
Yes.
And now she went from Little Penny to Charlene because she had the little fair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, she
now
did.
You saw that in the prom and talking about we was
You know what? She was a real. She was also a child at the time. Same age.
Look.
She wasn't. She wasn't. She wasn't Janet. She wasn't Miss Nasty at that time.
No. I seen her to be. She was a different stroke.
Right. I mean,
and she was looking right.
She was still a young. She was a young.
No.
Girl.
I got you. I got you. Yes.
Hey, Tanae, we're gonna talk after the show. We're gonna talk after the show.
Yes, Big O. Yeah,
see what's going on with Big O.
All right,
after the show.
But she was in the play with you guys. She was in
the play with. Now this was in 1979, and the reason I remember this is because at the time we were in the play, her brother Michael came to the show, Marlon came to the show, Randy came to the show, and their father Joe Jackson came to the show to see her in the show.
You have a real belt, like a real thick one?
Who's that? Oh,
yeah,
Joe. He didn't have the belt then.
All right,
but this was 1979. This was when "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" was hitting the air.
Oh, yeah, that was my joint. Yeah, I was 4. I remember that album though.
Damn, you telling your age?
Wall, that's off the wall.
Old as hell. Change your name up here, telling her age on the show. Excuse me.
I don't care. I was 4. That's my favorite. One of my favorite songs. But
Derrick is in our 30s, right there.
We were a little, just a few years older than she was. So, but yeah, man. So I mean, but it was a wonderful experience to meet Mike. And he came to see the show. They sat in the back. After the show, we went out, everybody mingled, after the show, the audience as well as the cast members. And I remember shaking Michael's hand. And the only thing that he said to me was, "You guys are good, keep it up." In his voice.
Yeah. Did they pass out? Nobody passed out in your family?
Nobody passed out.
Okay, cool. Then number 2, I always heard performing Mike talking, he had a deep voice. Did he have a deep voice?
No, it was "You guys are really good. Keep it up. You guys."
Okay.
It was that. He still had that E sharp.
I heard when he get to know you, he be like, yeah, he got a real.
No, he still had that Michael Jackson voice. So.
Okay. I do have something though. So when you guys are growing up, did you pattern yourselves after the Jacksons? Because in the 70s, 80s, you have the Partridge Family, the Carpenters.
No, you know what? Because it was three guys and one girl. Some people used to call us little Gladys Knights and the Pee Wee Pips.
And the Pips, yeah.
And the Pee Wee Pips.
The Pee Wee Pips.
The Pee Wee Pips.
Yeah, Pips, I apologize.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
I like the way that sounded. Yeah, it sounded too close. Yeah, that was
the Pee Wee Pips. No, so that's why people used to hey, you guys like. So we say a lot of Gladys Knight. Now here's another Gladys Knight, and the Pips. We sang "Midnight Train to Georgia" was one of our songs in our repertoire that we used to sing. We used to sing a lot of songs, during that era. We sang "Somebody Else's Guy." We used to sing that song as well. But after we did the show, and here's another interesting fact that you guys don't know is we signed to Sugar Hill Records.
Hold up, like hip hop, hip hop.
Right. We were signed to Sugar Hill Records, 1979, 1980.
Wow.
We were signed.
They was fish grease hot right there. They went.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had it all.
Oh, y'all were like the second artist on that label, or y'all were like.
No, we weren't the second. No, we were further down the line, but we weren't the second. Yeah, we weren't the second artist. So we put out a couple. Yeah, we put out a couple tunes on the Sugar Hill Records label. "Ain't That Much Love in the World" was one of the songs. "I'm Still Waiting." It was a couple of songs. That's What Friends Are For. A few other songs that we put out, and we got airplay on BLS. We got some airplay on BLS, and we got national airplay. But yeah, so we were signed to Sugar Hill Records.
Hold up. Okay.
So were they there when Sylvia Robinson? That whole
right. It was that whole Sylvia Robinson crew. So. So this was like 70, this was 79, 80, 81-ish. We were signed to Sugar Hill Records.
Brother, I'm gonna give you time to have this conversation. Yeah. So are you basically saying you got screwed business-wise? Because that whole label was knowing how to screw the artists.
Well, I mean, we had a management company that managed us. So we were okay. They did us right. I had every pair of Swedish niche pants that came out. I don't know if you remember.
British Walkers.
I don't know if you remember Swedish.
You was killing them.
So we thought we was doing. We had every color Swedish knits, and British Knights, and the shoe ain't done without that BK button.
BKs. I had some.
The British Knights.
I had some
hot real Kangos, the real gazelles.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we thought we was doing something. We thought we were doing something.
Y'all was. And you from the north in East Orange area?
Oh yeah.
you know, some people don't know, for everybody listening to the audience, Newark, New Jersey, East Orange, all up in the north vicinity of Essex County, they're the flyest dressing people in this whole state. So if you fly in Newark, you fly everywhere. You know what I mean? And still to this day, you know, I always give Newark and everybody up there props.
Oh yeah, man.
They set trends up there. So real fly. So, you know, like everybody understands, you know, Jersey, but just in case you outside of Jersey, thinking New York. Like,
I know, you know, it's funny.
Jersey sets the trends.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody, when people that don't live in New Jersey, they think about Jersey, it's always the Sopranos. For some reason, everybody thinks New Jersey is just Italian country. You know, I mean, you know, you got that part of New Jersey, of course, but you know, people don't know, you know, we got some hoods in Jersey too. So, you know, but it's all, you know, it's all Soprano land for most people who have that vision of what New Jersey is.
The other part is Snooki land down on the coast.
On the shore.
It's like, okay, we got horrible representation. Like, you thinking like, you know, the situation. I was like, yo, somebody named them that?
Yeah, right.
From Long Island?
Whitney did kind of put us back on the map and say, oh, it's more than and Queen Latifah, you know. They kind of, you know, and who else with Naughty by Nature? You know, we had those, you know, so they kind of said, okay, of course, there's more than Sopranos in Jersey. So they kind of put us back on the map. But anyway, yeah, man.
I was happy. I watched the interview with Raekwon was online, and he said, you know, quiet as kept. He said, we just mimicked Naughty by Nature in New York. And he said this in an interview, and I was like, okay, because for us, it was just like, yeah, you know, I love y'all style, but when Naughty came out, you know, their whole style was unique, and I don't want to say, let's not diminish, you know, that era. Everybody was unique, and nowadays you have a lot of people that mimic each other, and that's kind of corny.
Right. Yeah, right. You had your Tupac, and you had Biggie, you know, everybody, you had Snoop, and you know, I mean, everybody had their own they were doing their own thing, you know what I mean? Their uniqueness. Now, you know, the music, it's kind of, I don't know, you know, if you think of music today, you think of artists that, you know, stand out. You know, we had Prince, we had Michael Jackson, we had Luther. You know what I mean?
Jackson.
You know, Freddie Jackson, you know.
M2
Man. Right. You know, I was listening to Shalimar the other day, man. You know, Shalimar.
Hold up, wait. You know, I got to figure out, what do you identify as? You identify as light skin, or you brown skin, or dark skin? I got to know this. Because you
don't ask. Please don't answer that question. Do not.
I identify as a brown skin. So, you know, I'm Team Denzel. Are you Howard Hewitt? Like, you doing light skin thing?
No, I'm not. No, man. I identify as, you know, pecan. Pecan tan. Pecan tan.
No. Some people, they be pecan, but they identify as light skin.
Oh, okay.
I'm pecan.
You know.
All right, cool.
It all depends on how the light hit me sometimes, man, you know, but I'm pecan.
Oh, yeah. Look. You know? So now, look, for me, back in the day, you know, like Christopher Williams, Albie Shore, Howard Hewitt, like they had the light skin run.
Right.
You know, brown skin, we kind of been there. We always the stepchild. Then dark skin came in, Wesley Snipes, and then Stringer Bell. Well, not Stringer, but what's my man? He played Stringer Bell.
Denzel. Who's the one? Denzel.
No, the one, the young one from England. He played Stringer Bell in The Wire.
Oh, Idris.
Idris Elba.
So they bought the dark skin back. We brown skin brothers, we always identify with Denzel. So we kind of always been very steady.
This guy.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
I don't think light skin is in. I saw this movie the other day and said, man, light skin ain't in.
Drake is holding the light skin flag up. Heck no. Them lights is winning right now. They are winning. Men are way too and we even say that. Be like, that's real light skin of you. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta get more masculine. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we joking because we all family.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, we all family. So now, wait a minute. What high school did you attend in North?
I went to Camden Middle and Bergen Street.
Okay.
In Newark, and then I transferred to BLD. It's called Vernon L. Davey. And that was 7th and 8th grade, and then high school was East Orange High, man. Panthers.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
EO
all right,
Panthers.
so yeah, you was in the hood. Like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you was in the hood.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thinking like, nah, you know, you was over here. You kind of, you know, your family.
It was two schools. It was East Orange High, and then it was Clifford Scott. You know, and then we had that inner city rivalry, but. Right. You know, now it's East Orange. It's just one high school. They merged both of those schools together. But yeah, East Orange High. East Orange High was, you know, that was a school.
Was they trying to train you to go right into Uppsala? I'm not Uppsala. Yeah, the Uppsala College.
Well, Uppsala College, which is no longer there. I think. Yeah, they. Huh?
It's the high school.
Right. It's the East Orange High campus. Right. Right. Yeah, that's true.
So now, look, was they trying to tell you, like, yeah, you're going to go to college, you're going to go to college right here? Or you just said, nah, my mom said we graduate and I'm hitting the tour?
No, we continued to perform after that. After high school, we continued to perform. Now, it's funny you say that because after Sugar Hill Records, after high school, here's the thing, I was going to go into the service because that was, my older brother was in the service.
Okay,
at the time that, his name is Edwin Givens, my older brother. He's not one of the guys that sang.
No, which branch?
I wanted to go in the Marines, man. I wanted to, it was the Marines I wanted to, man, because it was that uniform, that Marine uniform.
Yeah, they be crispy. They be super crispy.
Yeah, it was the Marines for me, man.
Yeah.
So I was going to go into the Marines, but here's the thing: we got another record deal. When I got out of high school, we got another record deal with a record label called Venture Records.
Venture.
It was called Venture Records. It was a local. It was based out in. It was based in Somerville, New Jersey.
Okay.
Now here's the funny thing: the creator of Venture Records, the owner of Venture Records, his name was Tony Camello, Italian brother, really cool. Tony Camello actually was the person who wrote and produced "Midnight Train to Georgia" for Gladys Knight.
Yeah, for Gladys. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
You see how that we came back to that?
Now, you know, see how I look at you. I was like, listen, I don't want you to build nothing now. Because you still in Jersey, you said. Like, listen, you still in Jersey.
Right. Still in Jersey.
Hey. All right. We know.
Well, we were in Jersey, but the company was based out in LA. So, you know, but you know, the main one of the recording studios we recorded out of Somerville. But they had multiple recording studios.
All right. So that's
again, the owner of Venture Records, he was also the writer and producer of he also produced Odyssey, Native New Yorker.
Yeah. So did you guys produce any of not produce, excuse me, wrong words. Did any of you write any of the material when you were younger?
Not when we were younger. Okay. Actually when we were signed to Sugar Hill Records, I co-wrote some of the songs with the producer. We had a producer's name was Jim Pass was his name. We also were produced by Amir Bayan, who is one of Kool and the Gang's younger brothers at the time. He was also a producer at the time. Yeah. A couple other local cats. Another guy named Mikael Muhammad. He did a lot of. He wrote for Kool and the Gang as well as a couple other local artists as well as. So we co-wrote some of the material for some of the songs that we released on the Sugar Hill label. Not for Venture Records. So we were signed to Venture Records. I think it was in 1920. And then after a while, we kind of disbanded. My brothers, everybody grew up and kind of went their own separate ways. My younger sister and I, Audrey, we continued to sing.
Is it because of the interest? I'm sorry. Did you break up because everybody just decided, I want to do something different? Was it a conflict? Was there an issue?
No, there wasn't a conflict. We just, everybody just had it was other interests that, my brothers, they went into other areas. I at 23, I had a child, an older son. So, I kind of say, hey man, I gotta work. I gotta get me a job, and so life was life, and they called it. We was lifing. So. Everybody was pretty much, we grew up, everybody was doing their own thing. But again, my sister and I, we were still involved in singing. As a matter of fact, my sister, she started working on the album. And my sister was also on Sunday's Best. She was also a contestant on Sunday's Best. I can't remember, a couple of years ago. this was before COVID. She was on Sunday's Best.
Yeah.
I co-wrote, I continued to write for other people. I also wrote a song on George Benson's Love Remembers album.
Okay.
So I was able to do that. I wrote some songs for Gwen Guthrie as well. Cuba Gooding, went in the studio with Cuba Gooding.
Absolutely.
I also did some backup songs for Joe. Did some backup work with Joe. So I stayed in it for a minute, and then back in 2015, I released my own LP. Okay. It's called Once Again by Derrick Givens. You can find it on iTunes or any other streaming platform. I also got some videos out there.
We saw you up there, doing your light acting.
Videos.
You had your light acting. Bumping into the waitress. Was your wife on set when you was bumping into the waitress?
She wasn't on set during that time. She wasn't on set.
Some chemistry there. I was that looks like his wife. I was like, no, I don't look like her. I said, it's acting right there, buddy.
It's funny, you watch some of these shows and, you see these actors and you say, man, I wonder how their spouses, how do they take to these love scenes, man?
Oh, yeah.
Some of these scenes,
real.
Some of these, how do they do it? I don't know how they do it.
Listen, I'm telling you right now.
You can do it.
Listen. My cousin wrote a script, got picked up by Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats Company. And I was like, is Alicia Keys gonna be in it? Because I could be the abusive husband in that story. And we can have a scene and I can make it real.
Right.
You know what I mean? I said, listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna be an acting job for Oscar worthy.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why I was like, look. Just like that. So now go ahead.
Go ahead, Tanae.
Hey, I was just thinking about, your writing, like you talk about all these things and singing, like it just comes like naturally. So did you have like a writing coach? Did you teach yourself how to write the songs? Like what's your process when you're writing?
I mean, during the time I was writing, and I got to back up a little bit because part of back in, I can't remember, it was during the Gwen Guthrie, during that whole era. Salim's dad, Eddie Saunders. Eddie Saunders is a big part. So I think when I was around maybe 24, 25, that's when I met Eddie. I might have been younger than that. And so I started going into the studio with Eddie a lot.
That's like 1988.
I started going to, Eddie, I'm
doing the math right now. Go ahead.
I started going to the studio with Eddie and so, I initially, I just started, I was singing. So Eddie used to do tracks, and I said, give me the track, and let me, I'll start writing something to it. So that's how I just kind of built. I started writing. Then I was writing before Eddie, but I kind of got more into it. When Eddie and I, because Eddie and I were probably in the studio every week four times. So that's when we were working again with Gwen Guthrie, Cuba Gooding Jr., and then Eddie used to also bring me in the studio. Said, Derrick, I need you to come in the studio and do some background or work with these artists. Now, Eddie, that's my boy, don't get me wrong. Eddie used to bring some artists in the studio that, the talent was challenging. So the talent was challenging to say, to put it nicely. But Eddie always, man, come in the studio, man, I got this artist.
You off that easy. We gonna say the names. Like, got some
it was so many, it was like a whole bunch of local artists, man. Everybody wanted to, sing.
Can't she sing you then?
Eddie just liked to be in the music.
Eddie just wanted to be in the mix.
Play.
But you know what? In all seriousness, that gave me it was a challenge for me to say, okay, let me work with this artist. Let me see how I can make this particular artist shine. Let me bring out what it is that they do. Let me bring that out of them. So in a sense, it did kind of, help me to hone my writing skills. And help me practice to see what I could do to, because everybody's different, So I took on those challenges. Some of those challenges I shouldn't have taken on, but I did anyway,
Okay.
But
and I'm reading between the lines, and you're a very good guy. Absolutely. Some people, maybe
Eddie's always pull me in there, man. So
they tell them like maybe singing is not your calling. You didn't say that to people.
No, I never did. I said, well, let me lay it down for you, right? I'm gonna lay the part down.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a template.
And you just emulate what I do. So so we kind of
make it easy. Some people need a little head start. They
and
need
sometimes,
a little
sometimes I would blend my voice in there sometimes, just to, straighten things out a little bit. But it all worked out in the end.
Okay, so now we're gonna get to the, as I like to say, the eras of music. So around 1988, 87, you meet Eddie, and now there's a new era being ushered in that kind of sounds a little different from what you were singing. Because you, more or less what I've heard, sounded more like a balladeer,
Right.
Like Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, People Bryce.
Yeah, it was right. It was around that time. Right. During that time, it was right. It was Freddie Jackson was out.
Correct.
Shalimar. Right. Yes. Joe.
Yeah.
Joe was,
out then.
I'm sorry?
Joe wasn't out then. This is 88.
Well, Stevie Wonder, I think, was a really big influence on me, man. Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Because my first memory of any song, music, is Stevie Wonder for some reason.
I got you. But my question now becomes, the New Jack era, swing era came in, and that was ushered in like with Bobby Brown, Albie Shore, even what's my boy begging, Keith Sweat.
Right,
okay,
Keith Sweat.
In that era, and when you listen to them, it's real catchy. The beats are really the mainstay, whereas before the melody and the singing was the mainstay.
Right.
So I'm listening to what you're saying. I promise you, I'm joking around, but I'm really studying everything you say and piecing together. So that transition, how do you feel about it? And what do you think about that transition in music? Because right then and there, you were in it and seeing the changes.
Right. And here's right. I was in it and seeing the changes. But here's another part of during that change. We did a lot of club. I did a lot of club things during that time as well.
Okay.
Because Gwen Guthrie was out. So although I was in the R&B, I was doing the Joe stuff. We were laying down, and I worked with a couple of different local writers that wrote songs for Joe, that wrote, songs for Gwen Guthrie, that wrote songs for George Benson. So I was in that era, but I think around that time I leaned more towards doing club stuff. For some reason, we just kind of transitioned. We did both actually. We did R&B and club stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was more along the lines of like Joe. I was trying to emulate, that whole what Joe was doing. That what do you call it? What do you call that kind of? There was a specific drum. That 88 hat drum that everybody was on, Bobby Brown, right? New Jack, you talk about like New Jack Swing,
yeah,
that whole. So I mean, we were doing a lot of experimenting in the studio during that time. Eddie and I, as well as a couple of other artists, and as well as George Benson's son, who's his name is Lucky Benson. That's how I Lucky. I don't know. Okay.
I said the name. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Lucky. Yes. Yeah. So, I just wrote whatever somebody put in front of me, whether it was a New Jack Swing, whether it was a jazz record, whether it was a club record. I just really try to challenge myself to write whatever genre that was put in front of me. Say, hey, Derrick, I got these tracks. And it was a mixture of, a whole bunch of stuff, man.
Yeah. And during that time period, there was a couple of bands, and you spoke and mentioned Joe. Joe came. I remember when Joe came, I was in college, and I was like, he came in a little later. But when Joe came in, I really liked when he said, I said, that's a little different. He's like trying to bring classy back. It's like Return of the Gentleman.
Right.
That was his thing. It was like Return of the Gentleman, like.
Did we lose Big O?
Humping around on stage.
There he goes.
That nature.
You froze for us.
You froze up.
Did I go?
Yeah.
You good.
Man,
but we got you. You good.
You good.
So they, but not just Bobby Brown, but, people, being a little crass per se. And then Joe came out saying, no, Return of the Gentleman. And he brought that back with John B was pretty big at that time.
Don't listen to what people say. They don't know about
the second generation of the DeBar. Chico came back.
Mind by the jealousy. They don't know about this. Oh, I used to love Joe. I mean, John B. John B.
I was in college, John B. Love John B.
Yeah,
John B, Chico DeBarge, Joe. So they kind of ushered in that, that gentleman type style. And I would like to say, call it classic. But New Jack Swing seems like it transitioned into group singing. So you had Jodeci, and
there was a time there when all the boy groups were out. The boy band,
that was the 90s.
Who else came out? NSYNC, and there was a couple other boy bands.
But the biggest of all of them, straight out of they call it Philly, but he's from Jersey. It's Boyz II Men.
Boyz II Men. I mean, Boyz II Men. I mean, they were all over the airways.
Yeah, they was killing. So that, and that's really awesome. So now you actually, writing. Now you got writing team. You got your man bringing you to the studio. You like, I don't care who it is. Put him in front of me. I can write something for him. All right. So I have that. So during this time, you and your sister seems like y'all take on the mantle and stay. Everybody else say, you know what, life is happening. We got to go live life. Right. So now. How did you endure? How did you endure? Because, you have a family and you have a wife.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I was doing both actually, man. I literally was doing both, to be honest with you. I would, go to work, man. There was one time I had 3 jobs at one time when I had my oldest son.
And singing and still doing all
3 jobs. I was singing, going to the studio at night.
You West Indian?
Yeah, no. 14 jobs. She got 14 jobs.
14 jobs. You lazy bum. Right.
So it was just I was just in the wind, man. I was just, working during the day and going to the studio at night. I mean, that's how I was, So
how did you salvage that relationship though? Because that can break a whole relationship, family down with all the working, even though you were there, but you were gone a lot, so you were never home. Did that cause conflict with the wife or the kids?
Well,
and you got sons, and you
I was in Orange I think I was in Orange at the time. I was in Orange.
You better have been in Orange. Yeah, you better have been.
Newark, East Orange, and Orange. I was. That was in the 90s too. There was some conflict, but around that time, this was. I mean, we're talking. I don't know. We're talking what 89, early 90s. It was early 90s. So there was some
challenges
friction there. There were some challenges there. In all transparency, my oldest son is not by my wife. So the other 3 are. So that relationship did not last. And that could have been a part of it, as well as some other things that were a part of it. But I worked and did the studio. I had, you had to, I needed that creative outlet. That was a part of who I was. And then sometimes, you can be in a relationship and it's like, no, that's not who you are anymore. And
and you was like, no,
you're wrong. You're incorrect.
Right.
So it was that thing there that was going on. So it was tough. It was a struggle.
So were you doing studios in East Orange? Because I know there was.
I was doing studio East Orange. East Orange. Sometimes I would go to New York to work with other artists. It was the local East Orange, Newark, New York. Tri-state area. It was always somebody. Hey Derrick, man, I got a track. I need some background to it. So people would always call me. A lot of people would call me to do background for some. That was. They loved the way I arranged background parts for artists. So I did a lot of background work for artists, and as well as doing, lead as well. People would call me, Derrick, I need you to do a lead. I'm gonna shop this to Joe. I'm gonna shop this to is what I did a track for Mary J. Blige as well. I did the track, the demo track for her. Hold on, give me a second. What was it? Monday, a friend of mine. Tuesday, he went away. Thursday, Sunday, Friday, things weren't the same.
Yes, yes.
So I remember doing, I did
yes.
the demo for Malik Pendleton was his name. He produced that song for Mary J. Blige. He called me into the studio. I did the demo for her. So
that's right there. I'm still like just like.
So he was in Peppermint Lounge. He was in DMA.
Peppermint Lounge.
He lived in the Peppermint.
That was like the
Peppermint Lounge.
That was like the hot spot.
Oh my God, what was this? Oh my God, he's a comedian. He was always in Peppermint.
Bill Bellamy.
Bill Bellamy. I used to see Bill Bellamy up there all the time. And also, oh my God, I can't think of he played Ray. He played Ray.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx was in Peppermint. I saw him up there a couple of times. This was back in the back in the day. So I never performed at the Peppermint Lounge though. That was one place.
Are you serious?
That was one place we never performed.
I was looking at that a little later, like, all right, so how many times?
That was like a gift. Why not? Was it not?
I don't know. It just never panned out for some reason. It was always, I don't know. We just went. It was like comedy nights all the time. We went up there, but it was just never like a show. And of course, I don't know if y'all remember Peppermint Lounge. They used to lay that spread out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you would go up there and you get your pork chops and your collard greens and your candy yams.
Did you perform at Nell's?
No, never performed at Nell's. No.
Okay. Because that's where it went. It's like Peppermint, then it was like go to Nell's, and you go back and forth. But I got you.
No, never performed at Nell's. I performed at Club 88, though. Remember Club 88?
Club 88.
Club 88.
You're supposed to be at Bentley's. How was Bentley's now? Because that's the R&B club.
Yeah, I never performed at Bentley's, man. Never performed at Bentley's.
Is there a stage that even today you would like to go do a show?
We did a lot of stuff at Symphony Hall, to believe it or not. We performed at Symphony Hall a lot.
Okay, you bypassed the club.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of stuff at Symphony Hall. We used to open up for we opened up actually for Shalimar, who came to East Orange one time. It was Shalimar, it was Stephanie Mills. We opened up for those guys.
Oh, that's probably right. Well, they was Fifth Street right there. Hold up, did they still have Howard Hewlett then?
Howard
Hewitt was on. Yeah, Howard Hewitt.
Because he left. So all right, cool.
Right,
so
it was right. It was doing that whole. They were hitting it. They were very popular then.
Look, see how I got it. That's 84, brother. I know.
He was like 3.
He know his dates, man. I gotta watch this guy, man.
He do.
All right,
yeah.
So they was hot as French grease right there, and then up there with Janet Jackson. A couple of years later, Michael Jackson drops Thriller, the biggest and greatest album of all time.
Yeah.
Yikes! Hold up, now wait a minute. You met Janet. You said that.
Yeah.
You ain't keep the number.
I met Janet.
Like you ain't keep the number. Like, hey Janet, remember me? Yeah. Big D.
Janet,
that's what they call me. Big D. That's what they call me.
Let me tell you the first. This was right after the What's Happening show. I went to Symphony Hall. There was an artist that was performing at Symphony Hall, and I just happened to be with our music teacher at the time. She knew somebody that worked at Symphony Hall. Said, "I got to go to Symphony Hall. Derrick, take a ride." I was with her for something. I was with her going somewhere. Yeah. Went to Symphony Hall. I met this guy, and I'm gonna tell you who he is. I met this. Now I'm 11, 12, 13 years old. I met this guy. I was like, oh my God. He was up there playing. He was playing an instrument. I said, this is your instrument. This instrument, it looks broke. I picked the instrument up, and he said, I'm gonna play it for you. He played the instrument, and his jaws blew out.
Dizzy?
It was Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah, because his jaws.
It was Dizzy Gillespie. I was like 11, 12. I didn't know. I mean, she told me, do you know who this man is? I'm like, no, I don't know who this is. The great Dizzy Gillespie. I was 11, 12 years old, man. I didn't know. But I met Dizzy Gillespie. I did not know I was standing in front of one of the greatest jazz legends of all time.
Man, I'd be scared to see them things.
He blew his horn.
They look scary.
He said, yo, go ahead, blow it. He took the piece out, he cleaned it off, he put it on, he said, go ahead, blow it. And I tried to play the horn. It shot, it was, he had that horn that pointed up in the air at like 90 degrees. And that was an experience, man. I was a young kid. Never forget that. Another experience I had when we were in acting school, I was with the owner of the acting school at that time. I can't remember where we were going. I just happened to be with him and a few other folks. He said, we're going to see Stevie. I'm like, okay, we're going to see Stevie. So we're in New York. We go into this hotel. When we get on the elevator, I turn around, Stevie Wonder's on the elevator.
Oh, hell no, I'd have lost it.
We going into, now again, I was a kid. I'm like 12 years old.
Oh, man.
Because we went to go see Stevie Wonder because Stevie Wonder needed a group of kids to perform on Songs in the Key of Life. So there is a song on the album Songs in the Key of Life called Black Man.
Yeah.
The entire acting school that we were part of, we're the kids in the background.
No way.
Yeah, we're the kids on that song. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You know that album is probably in the top 5 greatest albums of all time. Yeah. In any genre.
Look, the album cover alone is in the
Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah.
Wow.
The name of the song is called Black Man. You'll see it on there.
And around that time, he was working on Happy Birthday, trying to promote Martin Luther King's birthday being a national holiday.
Right.
Wow.
During that time, it's funny. During that time, I also did a commercial. I did a couple commercials. I did a Bounce commercial with Benson, Robert Guillaume.
Yeah.
Robert Guillaume was a Bounce commercial.
Fabric softener.
The Bounce fabric softener. I'll see the video if you want me to.
Hold on. Do you still get checked, man? You still get a check like a royalty check?
Man, I think I was 10 when I did that.
Yeah, man.
Little skinny kid with glasses on, little black rim glasses on. So I did a Bounce commercial. And my brothers and sisters and I, we also around this time, because we were also not only singing, we were acting as well. We were trying to do the acting and the singing.
Absolutely.
We got called in to do some voiceovers for The Wiz, for Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. They weren't in the studio at the time.
Yeah, I understand
they just they had like these. It was a scene where the folks were popping out of the walls.
Oh,
The munchkins or whatever you call them, they were popping. So they needed some voiceovers for those people. And we went in the studio and did voiceovers for The Wiz. So it was, we were doing a whole, we were just in the mix during that time. Yeah.
It surprises me because back then, all of these opportunities, that you had, and some people may say, oh, the Givens kids, they left off the scene. Right. After Bubblin Brown Sugar, what happened? You know what I mean? But they don't know all the stuff in the background. Yeah. And that's the super dope stuff that people don't know. This is what KROSS BARZ is about. You know what I mean? Like, who would have known that, on the, in the song, that you guys are going to be on the I'm looking right now, but I'm excited. You know what I mean? Because that's what people know. People kind of underestimate. They don't know that you're writing behind the scenes. They don't know that you're acting behind the scenes. They just, I don't hear about him. Nothing happened. And those are the people who are having an impact and who are doing a lot of things. So
man,
we super dope.
We were trying to, we were doing our thing. We were in the mix, man. So, it was a wonderful experience. I mean, we got to meet some great people. It's funny. When we were young in New York, I remember you remember Mod Squad? I don't know how old.
The Mod Squad.
Clarence Williams III.
Clarence Williams III.
I remember we were in New York going to an audition. Right? Clarence Williams III. He was Prince's father in right. And he played Mod Squad. He was Link on Mod Squad. I don't know if you remember Mod Squad.
He was like the smart guy.
Yeah. I remember walking up to him and said, oh my God, I called him Link. I said, can I get an autograph? And he just looked at me and said, get out of here, kid.
Wait a minute, this is crazy. He just passed away. Rest in peace. He did. A few years ago. The most memorable one was Deep Cover. Most people probably know him from Deep Cover as well as Hoodlum.
Right.
Deep Cover.
But Deep Cover, he was the police officer trying to get Lawrence Fishburne to give up, drug dealing. He didn't know that he was a cop.
Right. But, I mean, we
pretty
good
good.
We used to go on a lot. We did a lot of we went on a lot of auditions. Now, there was one audition that I had gone on because we were just doing. I don't know if you remember. Oh my God, what's it called? A Fish Called.
Fish Called Wanda. Or the fish that saved Philadelphia.
The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's what it's called. You're right.
Pittsburgh.
It's called that's safe Pittsburgh.
Now, I went for an audition to play the lead role of A Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
There was about 3,000 young black boys that interviewed for that role.
Yeah.
I went on 5 interviews, 5 auditions for that role. And I remember, and it got down between me and the guy that got the role. What was his name? James Bond III. That's his name. That's his real name.
James Bond III.
His name was James Bond III. He ended up getting the role over me. And sometimes I'm like, man, my life probably would have, it would have shifted, It was 3,000 boys. It got down to 2 guys, me and another guy. And he got the
call.
Yeah, so,
he played Tyrone. Is that what he played?
I can't even remember what role he played, but he was a kid, and he got to meet Kareem and got all the, Dr. J.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, it's surprising that, there are a lot of folks like now today. I mean, you see people that have made it, but there's some people still out here, man. They are just, they hitting the grind, man.
It's like when I'm listening to some of the things that you applied for or things that you were involved with during that time period. I'm thinking about all the actors that you didn't know. So like starting with Chip Fields, right. She was Rerun's girlfriend. Then she went to Good Times and was Penny's mom. Now she was in Living Single as her daughter, her actual daughter, Kim Fields' mother in the show.
Right.
So yes. You can see her transition and you can see her versatility as well. And see her make a living. And then you mentioned that she was the one that wrote Mama I Want to Sing, correct?
God Bless the Child. That's right. Yeah.
God Bless the Child. And so now you see the multifaceted of her just, helping you guys out. And now you say, all right, I tried to get this role, didn't happen. Oh, but we was in the Wiz doing voiceovers.
Right.
Oh, I was in a Bounty commercial, with Robert Gillette. And then, I'm helping artists.
Right.
And, Mary J. Blige, I did the reference track.
Right.
So now I'm like, holy shit. You really had a rich career.
Right. It was great, man. Again, like I said, I wrote a song for George Benson. I had a wonderful opportunity to go to his.
Wasn't Give Me the Light?
No, it's a song called Love Remembers. The song is it's called Coming to My World. That's the name of the title track.
I think I know that song.
It's called Coming to My World. Now here's another something I need to tell you. It's called Coming to My World. That's the name of the song. DJ Khaled just did that song. He took the track and I forget the name of the artist. The name of the song is called Coming to My World that George Benson did, but DJ Khaled just took that track and used it for another artist a few years ago. I can't think of the artist. He's a Jamaican artist. I can't think of his name.
Oh no. That's super dope though.
Coming to my
That's what they do. They sample. They bring it back.
He sampled it.
To keep you relevant.
Right. Yeah.
So have you had any times where you went through like when things weren't happening, or have you always had a consistent flow of something?
No, I mean, there were some times. I mean, it was rough. It's like, okay, is this worth it? Or, maybe I should have went in another direction. You sometimes, you sit back and you think about, are there things that I regret in my life? Or, do I wish I had gone down this road versus the other? And, things go the way I think they should. There's you just do your best and you strive and you give your 100%, to do whatever it is that, that goal is that you're setting to do. And if it doesn't work out, as long as you say, I did my best, in this, what I'm trying to achieve. And if it doesn't work out, then, you gotta move on from that. You gotta find, there's something else. I mean, there's a world of different possibilities. So, there were moments where, we weren't doing anything. I was working, I was in, went to school. And at one point I was a consultant. I traveled all over the country as a consultant.
What school you go to? What college you went to?
Currently just graduated from University of Arizona online. I did online. I got my second master's. Second master's from there.
Congratulations.
Where you get your first master's?
I got my first master's from Toro University.
Toro, where's that located?
It's part of New York. It's somewhere in New York City. It's part of Toro University. I got my MBA from Toro University. I got an MHA 2 weeks ago from Masters in Healthcare Administration from University of Arizona. I got a bachelor's from Southern New Hampshire University. So I've been an IT consultant, a project manager. Okay. I've been doing that for like 15 years, in addition to still singing.
We're gonna have to talk
why still education? Why still education? Like with the singing, what makes you still want to, get another master's? Besides pursue the singing or that thing?
I just love. I'm always trying to, challenge myself and always trying to grow. I mean, I think learning is a lifelong process. I just finished my second master's. I'm actually thinking, well, maybe I should go get my doctorate. That's where I'm at right now. Like, should I go pursue a doctorate or, I'm thinking about
goals.
Right. I'm constantly like, okay, because my goal is to transition to teaching at some point. I like to teach.
Teach IT or teach music.
Teach in the business realm actually, because music has changed. I mean, we know how music has changed significantly.
Sure.
My youngest son is involved in music right now. My youngest daughter, she goes to acting school right now. So she does acting. She's doing some local, some independent film. She's doing that. So my kids are still, they still get that creative flow from me. Right. My son, he works out of a studio out of New York. He's working with some, I can't even tell you who the rappers are. I mean, they're rappers that are, I can't even tell you who they are, man.
I couldn't either. Look, a sidebar real quick on the Grammys when they did the whole, 50s, when the last ones came out, I was like, who is that? Glorilla. I was like, who is that? And who is that? It was like a sudden, a change. But some of them rappers, I don't know. I love hip hop,
I love it too, but I don't know. I don't know. I say, hey, Dad, I was with so and so. I'm like, I'm like, oh, Dad, man, you out the game. He messed with me. Dad, you out the game. So I mean, he's doing this thing,
I'm looking at you, and when you say, like, did I do the right thing? I'm gonna say right now, listen, you look young. I can tell you, like, right now,
you look great.
Like, you look like you. And I know you because of what you said. And when you said you did it. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm like, whatever you did is working, and try to sell it. Bottle it.
Try to put it in a jar, right? Put it in a jar.
You guys did this and then put that on or something.
Yeah, I mean, again, being transparent, I'll be 57 in April 4th.
God.
Yeah,
bars.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you have to tell them, because we're gonna listen differently. We're like, he's 52 and a half, so get it now. But we did that.
But it's a multitude of things, man. You try to, you eat healthy, you try to take, you take care of yourself. But my wife has been one of my greatest assets. She's been one of, she's always been my greatest supporter. She's always been there for me. She's my greatest fan, man. And I told her the other day, I said, why we lasted so long? Because you're easy to love.
Oh.
You just.
Oh, that sounds like it's going to be.
You got coup points on that one, man. You get husband coup points on that.
She's easy to love, man.
You're going to pitch him the Hallmark.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
No, that's super dope, though, because relationships, especially in that industry, don't last. They're not quality. I was watching the Shay podcast.
Okay,
and,
all right.
And he had, who was on there? Deion Sanders.
Okay.
And he was talking about Steve Harvey, and he was saying, I lied, it wasn't that, it was Ricky Smiley. And he said that knowing Steve Harvey and who Steve Harvey was great, but when he got married to his wife, he's seen another part of Steve Harvey because of, like you said, her love, just her being, just supporting him, saying, hey, why can't you do this? And he said he's seen like Steve Harvey in another light because of his wife. He had done whatever it was, but it's something that the woman that helped out. Come on, give the women some.
No, I mean she.
Look at
You got to
listen.
20, how many years old? 22
It was
years?
just the wrong name. Because Steve Harvey, he's working on his fourth wife, I believe.
That's all right. That's all right.
Which one?
This last one, Marjorie.
Okay.
He was the butter. He was the butter.
Yeah, I'll be looking at the ones that have been married for 27, 30, 40 years. Been there.
It's just, you know.
That's all right.
Because me, I got 20 something years in the game. You know, married. I don't got 27, but you know, I've been in the game. I got 22 and a half.
Yeah,
but when you talk about somebody been married for 7 years, I seen the change. I'm like, hey, listen,
you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
I got 15, and so
you got double digits. You got double digits.
15 this year.
That's awesome. You just
imagine somebody come up to you and you got 15 years in the game and they got 7 or 4 and then say, since I've been married, all this stuff. You be like, hey, calm down, get 10.
It's funny, but you know, when we first got married, you know, when you're young, right, you go to a lot of weddings, right? You know, you remember like when you're 20s and your 30s and your 40s, you just go to a lot of weddings. I'm like, wow, we ain't been to a lot of. It's been a while since it was one year we went to like 5 weddings.
Right. Now you go to funerals. You go to funerals, a whole lot of them. I don't know because we're getting older, but it's more funerals and weddings.
And then you look at I look at like, wow, there are some folks weddings that we've gone to, and I'm just like shocked that they're no longer together because the memory that you have of them, that they were in such a loving relationship. Like, how did that? I don't understand that. How did that not work? But I mean, there are a few surprises. You know, it's like, wow, I can't believe so and so in together. What they, you know, we've even gone to a couple of islands for some weddings, and they went all out, and like, wow, they could have donated that money to my trust fund or something.
But look, the ones that get me now, like these are the ones that get me. When I've been to your first wedding and you talk about getting married, but now you get married to somebody in the same sex. That's where I was like confused.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, a whole nother podcast, but I get confused. I'm sitting there like, Right. The other one, what happened? Like, but I don't want to get into that. But that's the one that's happening now with me, where I was like, oh, I ain't know that you.
Maybe he did it. Maybe he did it. They told you.
Hold on.
You know what you made me do?
Ain't put that on me.
No.
I don't know, but it's just different now where I'm seeing it more often. And I
we are living in different times, you know.
Thank you. Different times. I like that.
We're living in different times, you know.
Absolutely. So. All right. So we have this thing that we do on our podcast where we ask you a series of questions. All right.
All right.
And you can say one or the other. You can say both, or you can say neither. So I'm gonna give you example, something easy that's a layup for you. Do you like oatmeal or grits?
I like both.
Okay, see, you can say both.
I go with both.
I go with like neither. I don't do it.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm gonna give you a series of names, things, objects, and you just got to respond. You know. That's it.
All right.
Let's start with something, clear.
Give it to me. Shoot.
All right, cool. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Hey, don't stop thinking.
And I love Michael Jackson because, again, I'm a background person. Like, I love Prince, but there's just something about if you listen to the background vocals of Michael Jackson.
Yes.
They are the most perfect, pristine, perfect pitch harmony notes you'll ever find in an artist.
And they all in the right little places, and they just fit like a puzzle all over throughout the song. I'm sorry, I love Michael too.
It's like a musical orgasm, man.
All right. All right, go to the next one. Queen Latifah or Redman?
I'm gonna go with Queen Latifah.
Oh,
yeah, I like Redman, but I'm gonna go with
Redman for
I like Redman. I gotta go with Homegirl. I gotta go with Queen Latifah.
Queen, okay, got you. Put the high stand up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael Jordan or LeBron?
I'm gonna go with Michael Jordan because I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. I'm gonna go with Michael Jordan, man, because I know LeBron is great, but the only way that you can say who's the greatest there is, you got to look at the championship rings. You got to.
No, you don't.
I'm sorry.
Look.
Every
I'm
player
give you a person who got more rings than all of them.
Big O, this is his answer.
Okay, here's my thing. Here's my thing.
Right, I apologize.
Here's my thing.
He's about to go in.
Here's my thing, right? If you're a singer, you get to the Grammys, right? You want to get to the Grammys, right? If you're a basketball player, the pinnacle of your career is winning a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other records that you got, leading scorer. I go by the pinnacle. I go by you reaching the mountaintop. How many times have you reached the mountaintop? When LeBron gets 7, LeBron's the greatest.
Okay, so you're saying, because according to that, John Havlicek has 8. You're saying that John Havlicek is greater than?
I don't remember John Hav. I remember him.
Russell,
like I said,
like 13.
Right, right. Those guys were great, but I'm going by what I saw. Huh?
Robert Horry has 7.
He ain't gonna.
He
gonna let me go with this one
His
today.
answer was Michael Jordan.
I gotta go with my era. I gotta go with my era.
I got you. All right. Let's go ahead. Jets or Giants?
I'm a Giants fan, man. Because I'm a Giants fan. Because my older brother, Phil Simms. That's when I got to go with
Giants. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get a little harder. Mets or Yankees?
I'm not a fan of neither, to be honest with you. But if I had to choose one, I would go with the Yankees.
No, you don't have to.
But
you don't have to.
I'm not a baseball. I'm not a baseball fan.
No. Oh, okay. So what are you, Nets or Knicks?
To be honest with you, I'm not a basketball fan either. It's football.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Who's your team?
Yeah. Football. My team is the Giants. Football.
Okay. Oh, it's the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Look.
Are you, Big O? Who's your team, Big O?
The Cowboys.
Don't ever disrespect me.
Oh, but I was going to say, I was going to hang up on y'all. If you told me Cowboys, I was going to hang up on y'all.
Yeah. I don't mess with the Cowboys at all. But I'm the diehard Giants fan.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We'll get there.
All right.
So something a little easy. Ribs or fried chicken?
Oh man, ribs or fried chicken.
Mm.
God, I love them both, but I'm gonna go with ribs, man. I'm gonna go with the
ribs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the ribs. I like good fried chicken though, but I'm gonna go with the ribs.
So eat with a bib. All right, ribs, fried chicken. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's look. Now let's get down to some stuff. Freddie Jackson or People Bryson?
Freddie Jackson or man.
Yeah, they're gonna get hard now. I gave you some light stuff.
Freddie Jackson or Peabo Bryson. I'm going to go with, man.
You can say,
have you ever loved somebody? Can you learn to love somebody the way somebody loves you? I got to go with Freddie Jackson, man.
Freddie Jackson. Okay.
I just love the hits.
All right.
Yeah. Marvin Gaye or Luther Vandross? Yeah, they ain't easier.
Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby?
Yes.
You said you'll be coming back this way again, baby. I gotta go with Luther, man. Come on, man.
Oh yes.
I gotta go with Luther. I love Marvin Gaye. I got Marvin Gaye over there in my CD, in my record
Not
collection.
your call.
You don't gotta explain. It's your choice.
I
told you it ain't gonna get easier.
I got memories. I got memories with Luther. Yeah. that I'm not gonna talk about. But go ahead.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's do it. Okay, Patty,
you can talk about it if you want to.
I'm gonna go with Aretha Franklin, man. I'm gonna go with Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
I like Patty, but I'm gonna go with Aretha. I think Aretha she's the queen, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with the knowledge test. All right, Shalimar or the Jets?
Oh, the shot on the Jets. I'm trying to remember what the Jets sang, man.
Oh my God, they was hitting the whole Filipino family. Okay, we know
Shalimar, man. It's no
comparison.
No.
Okay,
make that move right now, baby. Shalimar, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Look. Okay. Listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Making me want to dance.
Look. I'm gonna start getting to Jersey stuff.
Okay.
All right. Jaheim or Faith Evans?
Just in case, I'm gonna make it home tonight. What did you guys do last time? I'm gonna go with Jaheim. I like Faith Evans. I'm gonna go with Jaheim.
He's coming out with a new album too. We heard he's supposed to be coming out with something new. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jaheim. I like
He did an interview with his drummer. So yeah.
All right, I got another one. I got a couple more. Then we done. All right. Okay. All right. Mary J. Blige or look. Mary J. Blige or Janet Jackson?
I'm gonna go with Mary J. Blige.
Ooh.
The reason I'm gonna go with Mary J. Blige because I love singers. Janet Jackson is she puts on a great show.
Good answer, Bars.
But
she's an entertainer. Yes.
I'm gonna go with the singer. I'm gonna go with Mary J.
All right, we'll figure that out. All right. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's figure this out, man. Because I gotta ask some more Nork stuff.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I gotta. Okay. Wait a minute. Nah, I ain't gonna. All right. Let's go with some regular stuff. Contemporary. All right. Malcolm or Martin?
Malcolm X or Martin Luther King?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. I'm going to go with Martin Luther King.
Okay. All right.
There's a song we used to sing on Martin Luther King birthday. There was a man, a gentleman, who made up his life for his land. He reached out his hand to touch every heart.
Stevie ran that one.
We know that he understands.
That was from Stevie Wonder.
No. This man had a dream that someday for all the bells of freedom would ring. His dreams will become reality, for his name is Martin Luther King. That was Harriet Tubman, man. We used to sing that song. Harriet Tubman, man.
You said Harriet Tubman.
No, we used to sing that song in Harriet Tubman school. I don't know who wrote it, but we sang that song.
I said Stevie Wonder. I was like, I think.
And you remembered that? Wow,
I remember that song from Harriet Tubman school.
Like, yeah, I think Harriet Tubman. Okay, all right, cool. All right, wait a minute.
But by no means, But by no means necessary. I'm still with the X.
Hold on, wait. Oh man, I shouldn't. Yeah, well, I gotta go with it. Central High School or Malcolm Shabazz High School?
Central High School or Malcolm Shabazz? I'm gonna go with Malcolm Shabazz, man.
Okay, all right. I said, I shortened the name. Shabazz High. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah. All right. And New Jersey Pack or Madison Square Garden?
I always wanted to perform at Madison Square Garden. Never had a chance to. I'm gonna go with the Garden, man. That was.
You're gonna get in trouble with that.
I'm gonna go with the Garden, man. 20,000 seats, man. That's. Wow. You done made it there, man.
All right, and the last one, because I know the area you from.
I got one.
So I got. Well, last one for me. Jabbar or Dr. J?
Ooh, wow. I'm gonna go with Dr. J, man. I'm gonna go with Dr. J.
The championship man.
Yeah.
You just said championships matter. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Dr. J. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, man. Jay was pretty, man. He was pretty with it, so I'm gonna go with Jay, man.
Okay.
Although, Kareem had that sky, Do you know
the story of the sky hook?
No, I don't. No.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was so dominant, because literally, I'm the one that gave ESPN the idea. Michael Jordan's Michael Jordan's like the third grader. The greatest player, LeBron, because he broke the records, because he got everything. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, probably the run that he had all the way through his career, him and LeBron are neck to neck. Remember, in high school, I think he only lost one game. Right? Then number two, college. Anticipating Kareem coming to UCLA, the NCAA put out no dunking in college.
Wow.
Anticipating because they said it was an unfair advantage for some player, but it was one player who was coming in and they put no dunking in college for, I believe, 3 years.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Kareem in college only lost 2 games. Okay.
So why did he have this? Because he couldn't dunk?
This guy hooked him because he had to develop another shot that was unstoppable.
Wow.
Because there was no dunking anymore. So just imagine you told Shaq, hey, in the pros for 3 years, Shaq can't dunk.
Right.
He had to develop some other shot that was more devastating than a dunk.
Yeah.
And that's how he developed the sky hook, because he was like, well, they couldn't stop me dunking, or I'll just develop the sky hook, which became unstoppable as well. But
I learned something today, man. They didn't even know that.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Jay. Now you say you have.
Yeah, these are really off topic, but I just thought of these.
Okay. Hey.
It's really weird.
What are y'all doing? Some kind of mental test that you're you know what? I think he's an EFNJ. He's an extrovert, plus is that what y'all doing? The what do you call it? The Myers-Briggs test?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that.
No. I know. I usually Big O does it, but I had a couple of days. All right. Here we go. Charmin or Scott?
Well, I'm gonna tell you a story. And I'm probably going a little bit too, I'm probably going to get a little bit too deep here.
Yeah, I'm like, I
believe every household in America should have a bidet. Every household in America should have a bidet.
Yes.
So that's a neither, damn it. But bidet is the answer.
You see what that skit? You see? You excited?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all I had. I just said that one.
You gotta clean that pipe.
Listen, brother.
You got to clean that pipe.
She don't get on my. Nah, she don't act no more. That
was
a good one though. But you agreed. See, we got another. That was not horrible. That's good.
No, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. What did you say, Charmin or what? What was the other one?
Scott.
Man, you don't get out of here. I asked you bounce or brawn.
Well,
That was the other one, bounce or.
I'm probably telling my age, but Scott skimped on the plies of the tissue. It used to be 2 ply. Now it's 1 ply. Okay, right. They're charging us double for 1 ply. It used to be 2 ply.
You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna go with Charmin, Jay. I'm gonna go with Charmin.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right,
So now we're to the conclusion of the show. I would like to thank you for being on our show. We learned a lot. We learned about the story, some of the background. I'm still looking like, yo, fam, you ain't holler at Janet. like that's Janet Jackson. But outside of that as well, I love the story, the journey, and it still continues. However, where can we find you at your social media, or if someone was trying to?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Derrick Givens Music. I'm at Derrick Givens Music. Okay. You can find me on YouTube. Just put in Derrick Givens. I'm on all the streaming iTunes, Play Store. You can find you can find my records on there. It's at Derrick Givens Music on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter at I'm Derrick Givens.
I'm Derrick Givens. Cool.
I am Derrick Givens.
Yeah, I looked you up and it was like 5 Derrick Givens. I was in there and I said, this is him. Because I had to follow your sister.
Right.
Figure out who you was.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, it's like 5 Derrick Givens.
It's a whole bunch of Derrick Givens out there, man. I thought that was, one of them.
You are.
There's only one Derrick Givens.
You know what? You're right, Jay. You're right. I'm gonna take that.
That's it. Any projects or anything coming up that we can note out for, or anything you're working on?
I'm actually working on some club stuff with some local people. So doing some club records, doing some, it's that Jersey, it's that Jersey house, man.
It is Jersey. Yes. Go ahead.
Derrick, real talk. I apologize. I got
that's right.
I got DDDD. It's all over the place. Right. Yo, I was so upset reading this article. They were talking about, club music, starts in Chicago, blah, 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 then Detroit. And I was sitting there like, excuse me.
No,
the Rolls Royce of club is New Jersey.
Exactly.
I said the Rolls Royce of club is New Jersey.
And then they're saying Beyonce brought it back.
Yeah, and she said,
they never left.
They never went, follow me. Like, we had club culture in New Jersey. And then me going south to college, I learned about Baltimore. And theirs is like, similar to Jersey. It's just that they just throw crass music in it, like you.
Right.
Yeah, they just throw some crass stuff.
And they don't understand. I don't understand why they don't understand house. I don't understand. Well, I don't understand how any black person doesn't understand house, because it's like it's the mother beat. It's like the African. It's the beat. It's the core root.
It is
of Africa.
But if you're not from an era that like an area, like I know I'm from West Virginia. I'm put it out there. There wasn't a lot of house music.
Virginia, mountain.
No, don't do it. No. He broke out with John Denver.
Well, they put a little twist on West Virginia, mountain. Okay, that's right, Jay. I'm with you.
But that's terrible. That's so bad. Anyway, but I had to go to Jersey and other cities and see my cousins to really get house music, and I'd have to bring tapes back, or I'd have to bring, hey, bud. I'd have to bring that back to do that. But definitely we're looking forward to that. Hey, what's the dog's name?
That's Parker.
Parker.
Hey,
Parker Jr.? That's like,
you're the only one I love, and you can't change. Is that Ray Parker Jr.?
Yes, it is.
I have no idea. All I know is Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Look, I'm a survivor too.
I'm really telling my age now. You talking Ray Parker Jr.
Look, between that one and Ghostbusters, that's the only Ray Parker Jr.
I know. I know.
Hey, man, it was great, y'all. I appreciate y'all inviting me. It was wonderful. Big OJ, Tanae, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love, and it was great talking to you guys, man. And I wish you much success at KROSS BARZ, and just keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Absolutely. Keep singing, man. That voice sounds great. Keep on singing. You're still sounding good. You got it oiled up real good in there. Got it oiled up good.
Looking good, brother. Keep on putting on.
Put that Vaseline on there.
Whatever you doing, I'm doing it too. Like,
it go deep with that moisturization. It go deep in there.
Hey, that's a big word. I like it. Moisturization.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, man. Thank you guys, man.
Hold on, we're signing on the KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. You can find us. Check us out on our website. Again, thank you so much for leaving out tonight. Peace.